Hi, I see we have a couple people on. And I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. So, I have my notes here. Sorry about that. I'm Lay with LayShidell.com, and my logo is Surviving and Thriving, Overcoming Depression and Mental Health Awareness. I had a friend that designed my logo for me because she knows me pretty well and she has quite a bit of my story. 15 years ago, I finally got a diagnosis of bipolar after 27 years of trying to understand what was wrong with me and why I was so moody and why I cried so much of the time and all of that. And finally got to a place where we figured some of that out. Well, in spite of all of those challenges, I'm always looking for ways to improve myself. And then I always like to try to engage other people and teach them what I've learned to help them move on from those life's lessons. And when I received my diagnosis, it was pretty devastating, mostly because I was retired from a computer programming job that I absolutely loved. At 16, I started computer programming for fun because that's what I enjoy doing. And so then eventually I went into that for my work. Well, when they retired me, I was all wrapped up in who I was the work that I did. And so that left me pretty depressed and devastated for quite some time. Well, I worked real hard and did a lot of personal growth studies and worked on myself a lot to come to a place to understand that what I did for work wasn't anything about who I was as a person. So about 18 months ago, I got into network marketing and I started to find all the different software applications and have a lot of fun again because I was back in that techie world that I really like. Well, when I did that, I found out that a lot of people in network marketing have problems with the techie side of things. And so I started making videos here and there that would help people with different aspects of the network marketing software. I know a lot of people do struggle with this issue, and Ray Higdon teaches a process called ILT, and it's about investing in yourself and then learning the material so well that you can teach it. Eventually, as you become an expert, you can teach and be paid for that. But in the meantime, you can use those teaching skills to add value anywhere you're interacting with potential clients. And so this is basically what I've done, is combine my software technology background with my love for making techie easier for other people, and I bring you Your Broadcast Live. So before I get started, I have a free gift for you that I will give to everybody if you stay till the end of the webinar. And so what I have for you is a digital training course that has 4 main tasks. And that would be to learn to broadcast live to Facebook from your PC, and then being able to later use that live recording to broadcast live again at another time. Also, to schedule a live from your Facebook business or fan page are the only places where you can schedule a live from. How to set up a broadcast that's scheduled live. How to share that in multiple places at one time. And then we also would look into branding your videos and how to give them a more professional appearance. You can add images and logos, and you can even add eye-catching videos. Okay, so what I did is I created a demo, and it covers the last 3 steps here, just briefly and quickly without demonstrating each little piece. And it lasts 35 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and run that as that demo video, and then when I come back, we'll have questions and answers. After we finish the question and answer session, I can cover and show you a couple of sites where you can get videos for your business, really, really low cost, that can help beef up your videos, and we'll talk about the affiliate program I'll be offering. So I'm going to go ahead, and I need to make a couple adjustments here, and then I will kick off the video. So I'm going to just turn off I'm going to mute myself and go ahead and do what I need to do to share the screen. Hi, I'm Lay with LayShidell.com, and I had a lot of problems, technically speaking, with making my first video for the webinar, and so I've remade the demo that we will be running this video for you here from this start, and I'm going to take you through a process of setting up some scenes, what they're called, in OBS, to show you the capabilities of this software application. And then I'll show you briefly the button where you go on my website to get a streaming key that you'll need. And we're just going to go through some of the simple procedures for setting yourself up in OBS so that you can brand your videos yourself. So one of the things, I have OBS open here. That's what you're looking at on this screen. And so the first thing that I set up was a screen for an introduction video. And so I clicked on this, in this scene column, I clicked on the bottom, this plus, and it let me have a scene 1. And you just say, okay, when it comes up, it automatically numbers them for you consecutively. And so then what you do is you go into this source column, and you go all the way to the bottom and you click the plus, and it lets you add from a drop-down list. I'll just show that to you. I'm not going to select anything. And what I did is I selected a media source because that's how you play a video, and my intro obviously is a video. And so then I would click on that, and I'll show you some of those settings here. Let's see. So you would just accept the next one in the row, or you can click on Add Existing, and then it selects one that already exists that you've set up. So we'll be talking about this more. And so then once I've connected, that's all I want in that one. For that one particular scene, I just want the intro to play. So then I went and I came over here and I clicked on the plus again here at the bottom of scenes. And I made the next scene. And the next scene, for scene 2, I have an image, which is this little image here. And again, I went to the bottom of the sources, click on that, selected image. When you click on that, there's a browse key. I'll go ahead and set one up that I don't need yet, and then I can delete it. So this would be image 3. This would be a new one. And when you open that window, when you click on that, you get a little window, and you're going to go to the browse feature, and that's going to take you on your computer, and you're going to navigate to where a file exists. And for me, it would be in here. And give me a moment. We'll find this same file here for you just to show you how I got that on there. And then I go to the folder that it's in, which is here. And then I scroll to the actual document. And it's this one. And when you put it in there, you just say, okay, once you're done, you'll see it's a little tiny thing up in the top. And this bottom right-hand corner, if you click right on the corner and drag, you can make it any size you want up to, including the black surface of your canvas. And that's what will be displayed for your setup for your scene. And so I don't really need this one, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Maybe I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to delete it there because that's not the right place. Try that again. Deleting it is from the bottom, just like we added it. You delete it by clicking the minus, and then it's going to ask, do I really want to? Yes, I really want to remove that. And then you can see the next thing I have is this text, and it's scrolling. Okay, so I selected a new source, and you select the text GDI. And the very first time I set this up, this is actually the first one that I have in here. So I used an existing one more than once. And the reason you would do that is if you're going to use the same text on all your different screens, like in this case I'm using my website that scrolls, then I can recall that in every scene. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then the next thing I would have here, you see I don't have it. I'm not going to click on it because I don't want to confuse the setup. What we would be looking at is a video capture device. And what that means is your camera. Whatever your camera is looking at. In this case, it's looking at me. OBS isn't using this camera right now because Camtasia is using it. And I'm creating this particular video in Camtasia. So we aren't going to see that option here at the moment. Scene 3 I made, we have the same pieces here. I added this. Okay, I'm going to turn this, the media source is this video that's running, and I'm going to turn that off for a moment. You can turn these features all on and off. The image I could turn off, this little one here, my logo. See this little eye? If you click on it, it goes away. And if you click on it again, it comes back on. It's a toggle switch, an on and off. When the eye is open without the slash through it, it's on. When it has the slash, it goes away. And then to get it back on, just click it there again. Okay, we've gone over the image and the text and the media source. I briefly showed you the properties. That was how you would go and get it. You'd browse, you go to find your files. In my case, a lot of the videos are in here, although not all of them. And you can pick up a video over here, you click on it, you open it, and then that would be the one that you're setting to, that position. Then you just say OK. And in my last scene that I set up for this one, so we're going to come over here, I would have clicked Add, and it would have created scene 4. And I would say OK up here when it pops up the little window. And then we would populate it because this would be empty. So I clicked on Add, and what I do, I'll show you here. I added text, but the text is this original existing text that I've used over and over again. So instead of creating new, which is the first option in the default, we're going to click the radio button next to Add Existing, and we're going to select this text, which is the only one I have, and then we're going to just click OK. And what it does is it gives me another copy of that same one. I'm just using this to show you how it works. You can make it as large as you want. By clicking on it and dragging it, you can move it where you want. You can resize it once you get it there. Any of these corners will help you resize it. If you move too quickly, you'll find that these actually will flip over and run in reverse. So pay attention to what you're doing so that later when it shows up, it's not running backwards, and you would notice it, but then you would wonder how it happened. Well, if you resize this too quickly, it can actually invert itself, and I don't see it happening here to show you, but I know that it happens. I've had it happen. So I just want you to know. And again, I don't need this particular text that I'm on, and so I'm going to delete that. And yes, I'm sure. And then on this one, I also have an image. This is my image. And I went, whoops. If I went to Add, and I added an image. And then this, I added a new one. So I create a new, and I said, OK. And then you go browse, go find your file where it is on the files, and then the actual, at the folders, and then the actual file will be on the side. And go ahead and click OK once you get to it. I didn't select one because I don't need to use another one here. And so then I did not show you on the text where I set the initial text up. If you go right click on that particular item and select filters, which is the second from the bottom, you'll see effects. And initially there won't be anything in here. You'll just see effect filters there, and you're going to come to the bottom and you're going to click the plus, and at the second from the bottom here is scroll, and you would add scroll, and you click on it and it would say scroll. We're not going to add it because I've already added the feature. Once you have the feature there, you'll see here you have a horizontal speed. That's what it's doing, is a horizontal movement, and you can adjust the speed. I can make it faster. Just see it's incrementally getting faster as I move the number up higher and higher and higher. And I'm sure it has a limit. I find that anything above 10 or 15 is actually rather distracting to the viewer, and I like to keep it about 10 for myself. I just find that it's a nice, slow, easy pace. People see it. It's enough movement to show people that it's moving without making it too active. You don't want it to be distracting. And so then after I do all of that setup, then I go over to the settings and I create hotkeys. And what hotkeys are they allow you to control those scenes by just using keystrokes. The second to last item on this list in the settings is hotkeys. And when you click it, it opens on the right side, this whole list. The first section, there's a scroll bar on the far right. This whole first section we don't need. What we're looking for are going to be the scenes. So if you scroll down, there's scene 1 just popped up, and we're looking for the switch to scene. And you'll see switch to scene is set to control 1. You click on the box, you hold the keys that you want to do. So I hold control and I depress 1. And that gives me, it says control +1, but you're not actually hitting a plus, that just adds it automatically as part of the code. Then I continue on down and I would set all my scenes. I have 4 of them. And so you'll see scene 2 is set to control 2. I like to keep them numerically the same. It helps me keep track of the order. I also set them up in the screens up in the order that I want to use them. It makes it easier for me. Otherwise, you'll want to write down the order of these hotkeys, how you're going to display your screens. So if you see, you scroll down to screen 3 and come to the bottom of the switch to scene, and I've already set control 3. And same thing for, oops, bounced too fast. Same thing for scene 4. If you scroll down, I have control 4. So my hotkeys are already set, but once you set those, you click apply, and then you click OK. So those are all set up for you, and now we have basically everything ready to go for us. So I'm going to make OBS minimized, and then I'm going to open my browser, and I'm already set at my web page, which is at leischeidel.com. It's leischeiDell.com. And when you arrive here, you would want to click on the pre-recorded video to live broadcast. You click on that button, brings you up to the window that you need, and if you have not purchased this digital training program, you won't be able to use this site yet. This is a part of the digital training program that I created, and it gives you lifetime access to this button. So I click on the button, and then it opens a small window, and this window you might recognize from Facebook. It's associated with going live on Facebook. It's an integrating window, and this is just where we're going to tell it that we're going to do this live. And this particular live, I'm going to show off on a page, and the reason I would like to do that is I want to show you a couple of fancy things that we're able to do on this. So we're going to share on a page that I manage, and it's going to be this particular page that we're going to use. When you get to that spot, you'll see the dark blue next at the bottom of this tiny window. We're going to go ahead and click that next, and it's going to open another Facebook window, another integration window that's actually going to get ready to do the live. Maybe we'll see. Yes, I can schedule it from here. So we're going to schedule a live. We're going to populate the window first. So what are we doing here? We're doing an OBS demo. And I'm just going to give it OBS demo for your broadcast live. And it's a training, digital training, but they don't have that as an option. So that's the one I'm going to select. The main thing that we need from this window, though, the integration happens between Facebook and OBS by utilizing this offline area under server. This is already set on default when we did the initial settings. The stream key is what we're interested in, and so if you click on that, it highlights the entire key, and I use Control-C to copy it. You can also right-click and then copy that line of text. And then I want to go over to OBS, so I'm going to the bottom of the screen here, finding that on my taskbar. When I select it, I'm going to the settings on this far right side under the controls. It's the fourth button down. And if you look at the far left under these settings, you'll see the stream key. We're going to click on stream key. And if you notice at the bottom, you're going to double click that so it highlights the whole row. And you're either going to right click and paste, or you're going to hold Control and V, and it's going to paste the text that you copied. You're going to come to the bottom of this window, click Apply, and then you're going to click OK. And then the next step is that in OBS still, under Controls, the very first button that lights up is the Start Streaming, and that's what we're going to select. And yes, we do want to. It's going to ask us, do we want to? We're going to click Yes. So then if you watch over here on the left, you'll notice that this Facebook integration screen is going to start talking to OBS. And you'll see that here in a moment. There it goes. It's fetching the video stream. And I don't know why we're getting sound at the moment, but we were. Okay, and so now it's attached. And it's jumping around. It's probably a little confused because I'm using multiple software here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is go ahead here and I'm going to schedule a live. So we're going to click that schedule live. And you have to have a minimum of 10 minutes ahead of when you're actually going to do it. And I'm looking at the clock and okay, so I'm looking at the minimum time I can do it. And so I'll set it here at, that's okay, so I have my time right because I'm going to set it to go off in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you this process, and then I'll kind of put you on hold, set you off to the side, and then we'll come back to this. So basically we're ready to get this set up, and I want to just go ahead and schedule it. So I've selected a date, which is today, and I selected the time has to be a minimum of 10 minutes ahead of where we are now, and then I go ahead and click the schedule. So this is actually going to schedule this on my fan page at Leigh Scheidel. What's going to happen is it will notify everybody that we're going to go live. And then it's going to notify everybody about 3 minutes before we go live. And then people will start to get on. You'll actually can see them. One of the things that I found while doing this process is the easiest way to view your own live while you're doing the recording from your PC with OBS and utilizing Google Chrome. You'll find that it's easier to access your live video from a device, your phone, an iPad, a tablet, I should say, or you could use another computer in the house perhaps. The reason I say this is the software tends to start to get confused. The more things that you're running at once, the more resources are utilized by the computer, and sometimes that machine language, the codes in the background, the languages that are speaking to one another become confused. And sometimes you'll have problems. You'll have sound appearing where it shouldn't. You have sound that goes away when it shouldn't. And so to avoid those problems, if you stay focused on only the functions that you need the PC to do in order to accomplish this task, that's what I like to try to focus on. You want to think about when you're putting your videos together what your objective is. You want to have in mind what it is you're going to do exactly. And then now what I'm just going to do is we're going to wait. We're just going to let time pass. We're waiting for 11:35. That's actually going to be 14 minutes. I'm trying to think if I have anything else here I could show you at the moment. I suppose I could just show you some more things, more features. So we'll come over here to the scenes, and we'll just go ahead and add another scene. So you'll notice it came up with the next sequence scene, and we're going to say OK. And I forgot to mention, you can have up to 7 scenes total. And so you see, that's what a scene looks like when it first is there. That's a blank canvas. And so you go to your sources column, the next column over, and click on the bottom and click add. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through this one more time, so just so you get a feel for it. So I click on the image, and I'm going to bring in my existing logo. And so I click the radio button next to add an existing. I know that it's the one called image, so I'm going to click on that in the list and then say OK, and you'll see it brought up my logo. And then I just click on it, left click, and then drag it to where I want it, let go, and then I can use any of these corners to make it larger. And I made it a little bit larger. Okay, then I'm going to add text. I'm going to add the same text that I've been using on all these other scenes. And so I just go to the bottom, I click the plus, we're going to add text. You click that, you're going to click the add existing radio button, you're going to select the only item in the list, and you're going to say OK. And so it popped up at the top, and it's a little smaller than I want, but I'm going to move it down here to the bottom, and then I'm going to extend this out a little bit so it gets bigger. Okay, so then once we've done that, what would we like to add? Would we like to add, maybe you would like to see, I don't know what we would like to add. Let's see what's in our list. So go to the resource, click plus. You could add a slideshow here. You could add media sources, the one we use for videos. So if you're doing a pre-recorded video, you would click on this one. You would create a new, most likely, unless you're using one that's on another scene, and I have some set up on another scene, but I'm going to go after a new one. I'm going to go create a new one. So I'm going to select OK. And it opens this window, which is a properties, and we're going to click on the browse. And then I'm going to go look for some videos, which I know are in here. And let's see what I got here. Well, let's put this one on here. So once you've done that, once you've connected it, just say OK. And open it up. Oh, I grabbed it wrong, and so it just thinks I'm trying to move it instead of resize it. If you don't get right on that, it will move rather than resize. And so then I size it to the size I want. Now, one thing you'll notice, and you can see it here, it must be the sound's overlapping. So I'm going to turn this sound off. Okay, now the sound's not running there, and that's how we adjusted that. So then when I'm actually wanting to use that particular source, I can turn it on. And then what I might do is turn off the mic here, which is me speaking on the mic, and then I'd reset it to use the media source volume speakers, I should say, which is right here. The little red speaker is red because it's off, and if I click on it, it's on, and if I click on it, it's off. And when you don't see any sound coming from it, it's because the video wasn't still playing. When you go off of it and then you focus on it again, okay, I don't actually need this one. I'm just still trying to pass time, and since we have about 10 minutes, I'm just going to let the time pass by. You might want to go ahead and do something else. I believe that what I'll do for the video is cut this wait section out, but I'm just going to leave everything set so that we actually do go live in about 10 more minutes. Okay, I also realized that I wanted to show you something. If we go to the page where we have the live scheduled, and you'll go to that page on your browser and refresh the page. When you do that, we should be able to find the scheduled live video. We're asking this PC to do a lot of things at one time. So running multiple software that requires so many resources of the PC makes it tough. And there it is. There's our live. Now you'll see it's on a countdown. Looking at this particular post, if you notice the three dots at the far right top corner of your post, if you'll click on that, there's a see more options. We want to click on that particular option. And then the embedded, we're going to click embedded. And when you get here, this link that you see there is what you could put in a web site. If you wanted to embed this into your website, you could put that HTML code in your website and then it would show. But we're going to go into the advanced settings here. We're going to click on that. It's going to open another window. And on that window, we're just going to triple click the URL of the video. I use Control and C for copy. You can use right click and copy. And then from there, we're going to go to the location that we would like to place this video so that it will run live at the same time. So I'm going to put it into a group for Your Broadcast Live, which is my actual digital training course. And this is the group that you're put into if you wish to be when you purchase the course. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste, we're waiting for it to update, it's taking a moment. When it updates, I'm going to paste that link right here. And what's going to happen is when we go live on that fan page, it's going to go live in this group at the same time. Okay, and it looks like we're working on an update here. There we go. Not fully, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to click on a new post just like you would, and I'm going to Control V to paste, or you can right click and paste that link that we just copied, and you'll notice the live information popped up, and at the bottom it just wants you to post it. So what happens is when we say post, it's going to post there at the same time. And I'm going to go to one other group here, and I'm going to wait a moment for it to load. Okay, and I'm going to refresh it just so we get a good copy of that page. Waiting for it to load up there. Okay, and paste your link. And then if you'll go to the bottom of that, we'll just post that. Oh, it looks like we might actually be live. And so if that's the case, we're just going to jump over here real quickly to our OBS, and we're going to kick it off the way it was supposed to go. And so then you would be seeing me here normally, but since OBS doesn't have that screen, you're still just seeing me on Camtasia. And then from there, we would go to our video, and so that would be our next hotkey, which would take you to that one. And it looks like, because we have our camera tied up, that might not be running. And so then what you would do is you would click on your media source, make sure that the mic is turned on for it. No, that's the mic of your computer, but you'd want to make sure that the sound was turned on. And then you would run through the entire video, and then when it gets to the end, you would use your hotkeys, and you might go back. What I a lot of times do is go back to the scene that gives me the video capture device so that I can engage again with my audience and thank them for being there with me. And then what I do is I have a thank you screen at the end, and so then I toggle to that thank you screen, and I kick all the sound off at that point. And then when I'm finished with the video, I just click stop streaming. When you stop streaming, that will end the live video itself. What is included in this training course, Your Broadcast Live? Well, it starts out with Open Broadcaster software, which is a free domain software. Anyone can use this software for free, but help with its use is limited to an online community in the OBS project website. So I've laid it out in a step-by-step fashion, making it easier for you to use the features that OBS offers to make your Facebook Live more professional. It includes an unlimited access to a password-protected page on my website, which has a programmed button to a Facebook Live session from your computer. You can actually go live, or you can run a pre-recorded video as a live. $99.99 value. There's a module for scheduling a live from a Facebook business or fan page, and then sharing the post URL to other groups, your timeline, or any business or fan page which you manage. It has an $89.99 value. You get 60 days of free support in a group environment, which has a $99.99 value. And there's also a Facebook group for support set so that others cannot find it, and an environment to practice and use personal growth by attempting Facebook Live challenges, and this is a free bonus. You also receive one advanced module for connecting an Android device so you can train from the device or teach, broadcast live from your PC, and video capture. This has a $19.99 value. There's one module that teaches how to download my live video, to use it at a later date as a pre-recorded video on that later date, or you can even use it as a live broadcast later. This has a $19.99 value. An additional module for troubleshooting connection speed related problems. This also has a $19.99 value. A total value of $499.94, regularly priced at $149.99. Right now it's available for a limited time at the discounted introductory price of $99. Thank you for spending time with me.